Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alicia. I post new tutorials every Thursday, primarily on tumblers, but I do other things, other types of projects, including reviews. So when you're done watching this, jump back on my channel and check out some of the other fun videos I've done. All right, so my last video, if you watched my last video, I made a holiday themed tumbler, and I said I wasn't gonna bombard you, but I was scrolling through Creative Fabrica and I saw this really cute Christmas tree SVG file, and I was like, oh my God, I love this. So I want to make something with it. And now, now I'm going to create two more holiday themed tumblers. I don't want to say Christmas, I want to say holiday because it's kind of like the warm, cozy feel. Using, again, Dollar Tree vinyl. So I'm using these two. So if you're interested to see what I came up with, stick around and I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am using a 20-ounce glow tumbler from Stainless Depot. I am measuring it. It is 8 inches, and I'm measuring it at 2 inches. I'm marking 2 inches from the top and 2 inches from the bottom. And then here is on Creative Fabrica where I found that cute Christmas tree SVG. I uploaded it, and so now I have it on here, but I'm showing you how I did it. So I shrunk it down. I want it to be 9.3 in diameter. I actually want it to be a little bit more. I want it to overlap. So I already did the measuring for you. You can see I'm doing this in silhouette because Cricut Design Space will not allow you to print a file this big, and I'm going to print it to do sublimation. I'm also going to print it to do waterslide. So it's two options here if you are unable to do sublimation. So what I did was I pulled them up, I duplicated, I erased the 'tis the season so I didn't have it twice, and I measured it out until I got it to the width that I wanted, and that was it. And then I printed. So I just wanted to, quick show you how I did that. Just make sure when you're printing in silhouette that you flip it so that it mirrors itself for the print, because when you sublimate on the print side to the cut. Okay, so now I'm going to cut my strips, and I'm doing these at 2 inches by 9.3. I'm doing one on the top, one on the bottom, and then I'm doing my pinstriping at 0.2 by 9.3. All right, so I printed this out, and I'm just measuring right now, centering it out, making sure I have it in the right place. So now I'm going to flip it over, and I want it to overlap. So I want the Christmas tree to overlap each other. And so I failed at this. It did not work out the way I wanted it to. I didn't overlap enough. So learn from my mistakes. Make sure you cut it to the point where it's going to be like seamless. All right, so now I'm going to tape it with my heat resistant tape. And then I'm going to take it down. I have a press, so I don't do this in a toaster oven. I have a press, as you can see here. And it's set on 350 for a minute and a half. When you close it, and I had to I really have it on tight pressure. So that's why I'm like wiggly. I put it for 40 seconds then. So when it's 40 seconds through, I have to turn it, because it doesn't wrap completely around. So here I am, it's all done, 40 seconds and 40 seconds. I love it. So now what I'm doing is taking 91% alcohol and rubbing off the little nicks that I made, the 2-inch marks, as my guidelines. So when I placed this, I did it in between the two lines. And now I'm going to apply this vinyl the same way I did in the last video. So I'm going to cut each end. I'm going to fold that paper back. I'm going to cut it, and I'm just going to leave like a little bit of vinyl hanging off, and that's what I'm going to use to stick it. And then I wrap it around the cup, and I position it with this paper on, and it allows me to shift and shimmy it without it sticking to the cup so that I can get it lined up. And I want to line it up as perfect as possible. I mean, I wanted absolute perfect. It wasn't 100% perfect. The bottom line, it doesn't matter because I am going to pinstripe it. The top I'm going to have to trim a little bit, and I'll show you later on how I do that. So now I'm just bringing it down a hair from the top because I want my epoxy. I am going to epoxy this cup. I want the epoxy to seal that vinyl on. So once I get it lined up, I peel that piece of paper off, stick it down, and then just apply it using my fingers. Now you can use a squeegee, you can use a silicone brush, whatever you feel, whatever you apply your vinyl with or whatever feels comfortable. I like to do it with my fingers, especially when you're dealing with a 2-inch strip. It's not very thick, and the chances of bubbles are much less than if you're doing like a full vinyl wrap. So here I go with the bottom piece. I'm doing the exact same thing with the bottom piece, just cutting back that paper and leaving the little lip. Now with the bottom, I want to make sure that I don't come too close to the bottom because the bottom is rounded. So you want to make sure that you come above where it starts to round. Otherwise, the bottom of your vinyl is going to wrinkle, and you don't want that. So you do have to pull it up. Now, what you do with the bottom of this is completely up to you. I leave it white because of the center being white. I like the way it looks, but you can do it black, you can do it red, you can do it whatever color your little heart desires. All right, so I've got that on, and I'm really, really happy with this. I think it's, coming along, and it looks really cute. So now I'm going to come in with that leopard cheetah print, and I'm going to pinstripe it. And this just like finished it off for me. I was like, this is like so perfect. I absolutely love, love, love the way this came out. It just is so cute, and it just kind of tied it all together. So I do the top and I do the bottom. And you see how I'm doing it. I'm just putting it on and rolling the cup and just pulling it taut, but not too much. You don't want it to stretch. And then afterwards, I'll run my fingers along to make sure that it's pressed down and just make sure it's nice and even. It's kind of hard. So if you have to pull it up too many times, you might have to do it again. And I've done that, and I've showed you that I've done that. All right, so now I'm just trimming that little tiny like overlap, and you like hardly notice it, but I notice it enough that where I want to just trim it. So, I mean like a hair. So now you don't even notice that it wasn't dead on even. All right, so now here we go on to the next cup. This is option number 2. So I used the cheetah print for this. And now I printed this out on waterslide. And so here is, and I talk about this in my final remarks, I made a mistake. I should have painted that white gloss. So I should have sprayed it with gloss clear or polyacrylic to shine it up, because it's a rule of thumb. When you're putting down clear waterslide, it should be on a shiny surface, because if it's not, you will see it. And I know better, and I just wanted to get through it, and I thought, let me see if I can defy all odds, right? I didn't. So learn from me. I did not redo this cup because you guys get the idea. I'm telling you what mistake I made. But I wanted to tell you that I put the cheetah print on, and then I cut out the pinstriping in the buffalo plaid, and I hated it. So I took the buffalo plaid off and redid it with the black glitter vinyl that I used in my video that I posted before this one. So I liked the black so much better. The buffalo plaid didn't cut where it was even, so it just didn't look right. All right, so after you apply your waterslide, if you're not familiar with working with a waterslide, you just want to make sure that you squeegee out all the bubbles. You don't want any water bubbles underneath, and you want to make sure this is nice and dry before you put your epoxy on, because if the water gets mixed with the epoxy, it will cloud it up. So I let this dry for at least an hour. Dry times are going to vary. I always say that in my other videos. It depends on your temperature and humidity in your room. It's, we've got the heat on in the house now. It's cold here. And so our temp is like 69, 70, and it dried within like an hour. All right, so now I mixed up 40 mLs of epoxy, and I am using a quick set for my first coat, and then for my second coat, I'll use my regular set epoxy. I did mix in some ultrafine shimmer, and you saw I just used a little scoop. And I am putting this on the cup. I'm going to do 20 mLs for each cup. And that shimmer is absolutely what these cups needed just to make it pop. So it's just so pretty. And I'm really, really happy with the way both of these came out using the cheetah print and the black and white checkered. I am going to do some other projects with this black and white checkered. And I actually picked up some white and black check today from the Dollar Tree. So they still have it in stock. And I'm going to do some other projects like candles and Christmas ornaments, and just, to give you ideas of other things that you can do with this really, really inexpensive vinyl. So that is it, guys, for this tutorial. It's like super easy peasy. Again, this is something that you can make in a day, and it's just so like kind of cute. It would be really cute as like a white elephant gift, or you know, somebody in the office that you know likes, you know, to sit and watch movies with their blankie and in the winter with some hot chocolate or something. And that is it. So I'm gonna put my epoxy on. I am going to torch for bubbles, and I'm going to let this dry for 2 to 4 hours. I'm going to come back, put my second coat of epoxy on. This cup's going to be completely done. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will be back with my final remarks. All right, guys, these cups are done, and they were equally as easy as the one I did in my last video, maybe even a little bit easier. So here is the one that I sublimated on. Now, this is by no means perfect because of this seam here. So I had an issue with the seam here, but otherwise, I absolutely love this. So two coats of epoxy. Finish this with the ultrafine shimmer and the epoxy. It's just got the perfect amount of shimmer. So, and then the second one that I did, which I did with clear waterslide, which most of you will probably do this way because a lot of people still don't have sublimation. Just one thing I want to note is that I did put this clear over a matte base, and that's a big fat no-no, and I know better, but I did it anyway. And so you can see the water slide underneath, you can see the water slide. So what you need to do is you need to spray it with gloss clear and make it glossy, or coat it with polyacrylic before you put that water slide on so that you don't see that. So that's my screw up. You can probably see it. I'm not really sure, but I will keep this cup for myself because of my mess up. But so learn from me. Don't do it over the matte base, but I love the way this looks when it glows in the dark. And after I'm done with this, I will, after my final remarks, I will show you pictures as I always do. So that is it for this tutorial, guys. This was so easy peasy. Dollar store vinyl works really, really well for this simple application. It was so quick and easy, done in a day. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, share, comment. I love to hear your feedback. All those things help my channel to grow. There is also a little thanks button at the bottom. So if you want to help a girl out and donate a little bit of money to me to help me keep going along with these videos, because supplies kind of cost a lot. Anyway, so make sure you check out my Facebook group, It's a Crafting, as well as my Instagram. And don't forget GMI's Superstars group. They have fun giveaways every Sunday. All right, until next time, I will see you all. Bye.